All right, good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is having an amazing morning today. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Welcome to the pre-market show as we get started for this week number 7 of the year, February 11th. So let's get into it. Let's get our screen set up over here. All right, excellent. So again, I hope you had a great week last week trading. Hope you had a great weekend with your family and friends. And then now let's get into this week. Let's see what kind of opportunities the market is going to have for us today. Just going to set up my settings here for my headphones. All right, perfect. All right, so today's Motivational Monday, guys. And usually on Motivational Mondays, what we like to do is just kind of go over some things that we get a lot from our members or either members in YouTube. One of the questions I've been asked a lot lately, and I see a lot of the members get asked this question is, you know, you guys seem to be a bit consistent. Why are you not increasing your size? And that is a really good question. A lot of traders that have been consistent, they don't like to increase their size right away, me included, because again, it just changes the way you trade. So trading small has it's all mental really, and trading small gives you that confidence that you're not going to lose big. You're going to be in control of your emotions. The minute you increase your size either too fast or too aggressively, you can start seeing troubles with your trading psychology. So again, it's very important that you increase your size accordingly, very small as you're seeing progress or improvement, but you don't want to go to a point where you're feeling a little bit overconfident and increase your size too much, and next thing you know, you're giving a lot of it back. So you want to be very, very careful with that. All right, just 1 second, guys. Here, see my screen a little better. There we go. Okay, perfect. Hope the light on the camera's not bothering you guys in the chat room over here. All right, so again, so that's our Monday motivation. Be patient with your size increase, right? If you're seeing some progress, if you're getting comfortable, take your time. A lot of the traders that usually increase their size too much, and they're not yet that confident. They start seeing some downside to it. They start not stopping out because again, they're not used to the losses. Everybody's used to the wins, right? When you win is great, but when you lose bigger than the amount that you're ready to be able to still have control of your emotion, this is when you start getting into trouble. So for this week, let's work on that. Let's make sure that again, if you're having a great start to the year, slowly increase your size, very slow, to the point that you're now realizing the increase. But don't go from 100 200 units to 500 or 1,000 units, because it will have an effect on your trading and the way you look at your psychology from a mental point. All right, so let's get right into it, guys. Let's see what we have here in our gappers list. Let's go through this here. EA has been unbelievable. EA did like a what I want to call a slingshot move, right? This was a slingshot move. So if you look back at EA, here's the daily chart. It dropped down here and it just came completely down, lost 13 bucks. Then over the next couple of days, it just shot up 30 bucks. So this is like a slingshot, right? Comes down, gets ready, and just takes off drastically. I mean, this is unbelievable. So EA in play today, up 3%, 250,000 shares traded so far. Next, we have Kron. Kron is also, we look at the daily chart, it has been pretty strong the last several days. Lost a lot the last trading day on Friday. Now it's kind of holding this 20 level here, 2040 or so, and bouncing back a bit. Pre-market action looks okay. It is up 3.3, 333,000 shares traded so far. Next, we have Tesla, a little higher price stock. So Tesla, 142,000 shares traded so far, up 2.2. Pre-market action looks okay. Looks all right, not too bad. We'll keep it on here. Next, we have PDD. PDD has been on our gappers list for quite a while, the last several days. Not a great pre-market action right now. 115,000 shares traded, up 2.1. It is early, guys. It is only 8:34 Eastern time, so we'll give these stocks a little more time for them to get some volume and get going here. CLF. So CLF up 2.1 to 123,000 shares traded so far. And pre-market action does not look great. It looks like all the volume is sitting on this one candle here. So not a lot going on there. Daily chart has been strong the last several days. We did trade this on Friday. Friday was a good trading day on CLF. A lot of you guys took this trade. And since we have some time, let's just kind of go over how it traded Friday. So Friday, Again, it had a good strong pre-market action right here coming back, and then it had this huge pop over here. We took the consolidation here on the way up, so that was nice. Waited for this drop here, took the consolidation, and then took profits on the way up here. So turned out to be a good trade. You had to sit on it for a while. It didn't move immediately, but it turned out to be a really nice trade. So COF back in the gappers list this morning again. And next, what else we have on the gappers list? So that's all for our gappers list. So we have a question on YouTube. Do you trade low caps? We do look at low floats. It's not my my niche, to be honest. I prefer mid to large caps. That's where my strategies work the best. But we do look at some of the ones that are in play with a lot of volume. Usually that we get them right here from our NASDAQ active and NASDAQ gainers, right? So we look at this chart over here and see, in most cases, we find those stocks from there. Actually, let's go through those now. So AVCO, not much happening here, not much volume. NUVA, not much volume at all here. Solo, nothing happening. ONCY, no volume. And I'm looking at, again, the volume up here. This is the volume traded so far this morning. And here's the gains, up or down of the percentage. So 12% at the moment. FBIO, nothing happening. IMPX, horrible pre-market action. Does have looks like it has volume, but once I looked over here, it has no volume. CAMT, no volume, only 27,000 shares traded. AYTU, nothing going on. This is not a good pre-market action. And CAR, CAR, nothing happening here and also. So now let's look at our NASDAQ active right over here, OTLK. So OTLK definitely has a lot of volume, 1.3 million shares traded so far. Pre-market action looks okay. It is up 26%. Let's look at the daily chart. Now, me personally, any stocks usually are trading below $1 and now are coming, still within that dollar range. I don't like to trade. Not because they're not tradable, it's just they trade differently. So you have to stick with the type of style of trading that you know. Overstock, we traded before. I know we have traded in the past. Yeah, we definitely traded this in the past when it was a higher price. I do recall that. Oops, get this back. Here we go. So we'll see. We'll keep it on here. Again, I usually do not like to trade stocks that are trading within under $1 or so, but we'll keep this one on here just for now. All right, next, what do we have here? It's AMD. What's AMD up to today? AMD's has the volume, but not a great pre-market action at the moment. ETS, we'll skip that. AGRX, 428,000 shares traded so far, but again, another stock that's kind of traded under $1 at the moment. So again, not too sure about that, but we'll keep it on here just in case. Has tons of volume at the moment. Cron we have already in our list up here. QQQ is an ETF. EA we have as well. Again, very strong couple of days, and now still up 3.3% with 258,000 shares traded so far. So EA will be in play today. TVIX ETF at the moment is down, so I'm assuming the market is up. We'll check the market in a second. And NVIDIA is doing kind of like a double bottom here in the pre-market. 182,000 shares traded so far, and down 1.7. You know what? Let's put NVIDIA here because it is the only one that's down for today out of this great list. Everything else is up. All right, let's look at the SPY. So make sure to check out Brian's recap on YouTube about the weekly SPY and the recap. He goes over what we did last week and what is the week to come. So make sure you're checking that out. A lot of good information. He also goes over some of the swing trades we're taking that he's calling out. So, and make sure you sign up for the swing trade alerts on our website as well. Norm, if you could send the link on YouTube, if we could do that, would be great. So then you can go in there, sign up. It's a free service. And Brian kind of does what he does is he goes through the markets. He looks at possible plays for swing trading for over the next couple of days or so, and then he'll give you alerts. So very good information. I'm looking at that, and again, it's just every time you see some really good setups. All right, guys, so this is what I have so far. What do you have on your end? Let's look at your list. Anything that we have not covered on our side. All right, Snap. Let's look at Snap real quick. TWLO. We'll look at that as well. Let's throw this down here. So Snap TWLO. All All right, so Wayne B, NVIDIA downgraded on some news. All right, that could explain it because everything else looks very green. It looks like it's going to be a green open. Not by much, but that's what it looks like. So Snap right now, Snap 182,000 shares traded so far. Very choppy pre-market action, although Snap did trade well on Friday. Snap can tend to be very, very choppy, so you have to be very careful with it. But at the moment, it's bouncing back a bit here, up 1%. Pre-market action does not look great. Volume is so-so. We can watch Snap. Let's see how Snap develops later on. But Snap is known to be very choppy, guys. It kind of reminds me of Twitter. Again, Twitter can trade nice if it goes into one direction, but when it decides not to do that, it can be extremely choppy. All right, next we have TWLO. TWLO has no volume right now. It has a okay pre-market action. Look, it's starting to build something here in the 5-minute chart, but again, it's just no volume. So it's moving up nicely, 2.9, right? Has left this range of 115 here. It's kind of came up, bounced from it back down, and then had a huge day on the last trading day Friday, and now it's up 2.9. So based on this big day here, it can have a good day today as well. But for the open, I don't see it building up for a good open at the moment. So again, let's see, because the pre-market action looks all right, right? You have this flow to it. Not great here, pretty choppy with no volume. But if this type of price action gets volume, it can turn out to be really nice. So we'll keep it on here for now. Let's see how it develops. All right. Okay, so what else, guys? What else, guys, have on your end? All right, so AMD, we did look at AMD. Let's look at AMD again. So AMD has the volume, almost 700,000 shares traded so far. Pretty flat open at the moment, so not much happening for AMD. This is one of the stocks you might want to wait into mid-morning. Could turn into something. MU right now, again, pretty flat as well with no volume. So we'll have to wait for those to develop into something. BABA, let's see what BABA is up to. Again, no volume right now. Pretty flat open as well. So actually, no, not pretty flat. It's 1.4. So it's up a bit, up 1.4. I'm not sure if this is because of the market or just, you know, if there's any news on it. Actually, is there any news on BABA? We can check here. Nope, there's no news on it. So again, it's something we could probably check later on this. All right, we'll check a few more, then we'll start finding some levels. NGL. All right, NGL. See what we have here. NGL is again has no volume. It is up nice, 6.3. Daily chart looks okay, looks decent, but again, it's just not doesn't really have the volume today. Next we have CLDX. CLDX down 12.9. That's nice. It's down quite a bit. Short selling restriction, but the volume is not there. This could be in play later on in the day because it is down quite nicely, maybe on some news. But the volume for the open is not there. CGC. Let's see if CGC is in play. We know Cron is in play. CGC is doesn't have the volume right now. It is pretty flat at the moment, not up or down, but it just needs more volume. But Cron is definitely has the volume. It's moving nicely here. It's up 3.1 at the moment, so maybe this will be one that's in play today. All right, let's check one last one, then we'll get into finding some levels. FSCT. FSCT, no volume at the moment on this one, and opening up pretty flat. All right, let's get some levels over here. Let's get rid of some of these that have no volume. We'll keep these on here because these have a little bit of volume, so maybe they can turn to a good pre-market action. See the volume right here? These are over 100,000, over 150,000. So we'll check on these in a second. We usually like to see, yeah, Norm, that is correct. We like to see more than 100, and if we can, over 200, even better. That's exactly it. AVCO is popping up over here. What is AVCO up to? AVCO popping up in our Gapper scanners. 140,000 shares traded right now, up to 26.6. All right, let's see if this continues against the volume. What is the float on this? It's a lower float, so we'll throw it down here. AVCO, perfect. All right, so let's start from the top. So EA definitely in play, looking really strong. Look at this, about to crack the high of the pre-market right now, sitting at 105, 101.5. So look, it's about to crack that now. So let's find some levels for EA. So very strong level, obviously right here, previous day close, previous day high, right around 98. Towards the, looks like we closed this gap right at pre-market, right? So I'm gonna mark this. This is a gap that we just closed here. I'm gonna mark this 101.42 where it's at now. I'm gonna mark that. Above that, we have a very clean level up here at 109.41. Again, just close this gap here. Then below this price action where it's at now, you have another level at 100.28, and then you have the previous day close down here. So the way this thing has been moving, these levels can easily be hit. I'm gonna mark this one here also because it's for a big move from 101 to 109. That's a really big move. So I want to have another level in between that could possibly act as some resistance. You have this day opening here, then it pops up right over here, it pops up again, comes back down, goes back up, and right back down to this 104.40. So I'm gonna mark that level as a possible place of resistance. Right now it just blew through this 101 level 32 that we had. Again, you saw it kind of tested it here, definitely tested it here, and now here broke through it. So it's looking pretty strong at the moment. So next level I have is 104.40. Let's see if we can get up there, and then if it was really strong, this thing can again, the slingshot move, right? It comes down, 13 bucks, was down quite a bit, and it just shoots right up. So let's see how it plays today. Cron. So Cron is has the volume, 363,000 shares traded. You have a big order right over here at around 8 o'clock. So maybe people are trying to get their transactions in. But the volume is there. The pre-market action doesn't look as great. What I do like about Cron that it had a big sell-off day last trading day, right? Has a huge sell-off here, and then it's at the point where it's either gonna come down and probably break this here or head up. So let's see what Cron does this morning. It does have the volume. Let's see if we can get a good pre-market build out of Cron today. Tesla pre-market action is pretty choppy. It's just kind of going sideways here. 150,000 shares traded at the moment. For me personally, it is a higher price stock, so I'm not going to trade it. But it could be in play today. It could be tradable. So let's find some levels for those I would like to trade. Let's this stock. Let's remove all of these. We have a clear level here at 315. A previous day high, and then we have another one down here, several down here actually, previous day lows and previous day highs from and the previous day close from last week. So if this thing decides to stay strong, the next level, the next clean level is right up here at 322, and then we have another spiker here at 324. So we're pretty close levels, but that will be the next levels if this thing decides to stay strong. You do have a moving average here as well at 316. You can mark that also if you want to mark a moving average. But no really clean level between 322 and the price action now 315. There's no really clean level in here besides this moving average. All right, so that's Tesla. I'm not going to watch Tesla personally, so I'm going to remove it from my list. Let's look at PDD, up 1.9, 127,000 shares so far. Pre-market action does not look great though. This is not a good pre-market action. It's very choppy. Class 2 talks about all good pre-market action, bad pre-market action, good daily chart, bad daily chart. And this one here doesn't look, doesn't have neither. So I'm going to remove PDD from my list. Doesn't have a good pre-market action. CLF, not a great pre-market action, pretty crappy. This is, again, all the volume is sitting on this this one candle and spread out amongst the rest. So not a good really pre-market action here. The daily chart looks okay. Again, it's been really strong, consolidating, then strong, consolidating, then strong, and then today looks like it wants to even go higher. But again, just the pre-market action doesn't look as great as it did last week. So we'll see. Let's keep it on here for a bit. Let's see if it can get better. If not, I will get it removed from here. So NVIDIA is down 1.6. It's down on a downgrade news. So let's get rid of, actually, some of these levels look pretty good already. So we have 139.55. Actually, this level could actually be better now. It could be up here, clean level right up here. And then this one can be right at the bottom of this day. 136. So clean level over here, 141.43, 136.62, 130. Could bring this up a little more right over here for these 3 days, 131.61, and then down here very clean levels, 125, and then 121 probably went back. So here's how we're finding these levels, right? We had this level over here, 129. I moved it up because now these days are more closer to the price action, right? The price action is here now, so any levels that are closer to this price action become better. So this levels here, 131.61 are clean levels. This one here, the days, all these days are closing or opening around this 136.62. So I like that level as well. and then this 141 of this spike over here, and then you also have all these days kind of opening and closing around this 141. So as the price action goes developing, you want to find levels that are closer and more relevant to the price action. As you can see, 125 is still relevant, right? There's nothing still down here. This is still a good level. And then 121, I remember we went really back for this to get that level. Then towards the top side, you have the previous day close, previous day high, previous day high here. And then you can also mark a very clean level, 155.32. So let's see if this thing can take off and trade nice here. All right, so next we have Snap. Again, Snap turns out to be very choppy most days. I had a great day on Friday, but overall, look at the daily chart. You see how it barely moves, right? And today could be one of those days, and the pre-market action is not showing us anything that looks that shows otherwise. So I'm gonna remove Snap. If you guys are looking at Snap and you see something change before the market opens, shoot it back to me, and we'll look at it again. All right, we'll go take a look at it. ABCO right now needs to get more volume. 182,000 shares traded so far. It is up 21%, which is nice. And when it does get the volumes, you can see here it does run. So huge days over here. So we have some levels already. 770. We can actually move this one up over here. Again, as the charts go developing and you come back to, you can find more relevant levels. High of pre-market right now, in case this thing gets a better volume, 648. 650. Below that, you have the previous day highs, previous day lows, several moving averages down here, so that's nice. And then the previous day close down here. So towards the top, next level is 808. Above that, we can mark down this one also right over here, this spike at 916. And then we have 1003. So plenty of levels here. Right now, it's not looking as strong. The volume started to come in right in here, but then it's just kind of died out. So let's see if again we can get this volume back into these this price action. This can turn out to be really nice. All right, so Snap we took off. MU is not looking too great, not much volume. AMD has the volume, but the pre-market action is not looking great neither. Let's see what AGRX started to do here. So AGRX kind of losing again, has the volume 490, but it needs to get more. OTLK also has tons of volume, but this pre-market action is just not great. And look at this. This is 300 and some, almost 400,000 shares traded in this one candle here. So again, just the volume is not creating a good pre-market action. I don't like that. So I'm not a fan of OTLK, so I'm going to remove that one. If you guys see something where it changes, shoot it back to me and we can take a look at it again. All right, guys, anything else that we might have missed? All right, let's see if anything new in our gappers list. No, we don't have anything there. So let's look at EA. All right, so let's go through this list again. Yep, so EA is again looking really strong again here. Let's see if we can hold that 101.32 and bounce higher. Cron, it's not doing much right now. CLF is not doing anything neither. NVIDIA. Did we go over NVIDIA? Yes, we did. We went over NVIDIA. So NVIDIA down 1.6, has the volume. It got downgraded on some news, so that's why it's selling off today. And then we looked at AMD. I'm on the fence on AMD. It does have the volume. It's trying to crawl back slowly towards the previous day close. The market is not is up a bit, not by much. So we can keep AMD. I think someone mentioned SQ earlier. Let's look at SQ today. SQ volume is creeping in 83,000. We want to see it, above 100, 150. So it's creeping in 83, but the pre-market action is not great right now. And SQ is one of those stocks where I want to see a lot of volume, a very good pre-market action, because it can tend to be very choppy as well. At the open, be very careful. That's a stock you really want to wait the 5-minute mark. You don't want to go in before the 5 minutes or 10 minutes, because it could just trade so violently in the morning with the volume coming in. So be very careful. All right. Anything else, guys? Anything else you guys like on your end? Well, Troy, TVIX, yes, you could trade TVIX, but it's one of those stocks, again, you got to really just see what it does, whatever the market does, right? So it's one of those stocks you just kind of play by ear. So I don't really put levels on TVIX and things like that, because it just does whatever the market is not doing, right? The market right now And market starting pretty flat. Is up almost a little less than 0.5%. Again, just been really strong the last several weeks. It had a dip here. We gained a lot on Friday. So now it's up again. Let's see if we can get to these levels here. We got 273 again. Brian talks about this in his weekly recap. 273 is we hadn't been up here in a while actually before the beginning of this year. So let's see, it can go either way here. We don't know if this is Brian talks about, he doesn't know if this could be a pullback and we're going to head back up, or are we changing directions here, right? So today we'll see what the market decides to do, or it can go sideways as well. CAR. Yeah, so CAR, this is not a good pre-market action here. What you're seeing here is no volume, right? Only 14,000 shares traded so far, so it's not a lot. It is up 7%, which is nice for a stock that's trading 26 bucks. So you want to see this type of a gap up or down, right? It's leaving where the price action has been for the last several days. But you can see here that the pre-market action is not there. So you want to trade something at the open that really has a lot of volume, that has a good liquidity. You can get in and out easily. This one is not setting up to be like that at the moment. All right, UNG. UNG looks interesting. Wait, UNG was in our gappers list, right? It popped up here earlier this morning. Why isn't it here now? But I remember seeing that because I looked when I turned on the scanners with UNG and Cron were up there. So what's the deal with UNG? Let's throw it on here. All right, so UNG is a okay, natural gas, yeah. So this again looks like it's in play today, but this is more like an ETF type thing. You have to really know how to trade this. It's not your common stock, so you want to be very careful on how you trade this. I know that Brian is really good at trading these, so maybe we can ask when he comes in. We can ask his advice on this. He'll be in shortly around 9:15 or so. So when he jumps on the mic, we'll bring this one back up. I'll keep it on here, and we can get his input on it. He has a lot of experience on this type of trading. All right, good morning, guys. If you're just joining us, welcome to the pre-market show. Right now, we have gone through our gappers list, NASDAQ active and NASDAQ gainers, and so far, this is what we have at the moment here. So we'll go through this list again and make it fine-tune it, see what's actually in play and what's not. I know Snap is up, but the problem with Snap is again it's just very choppy, right? So has the volume 233,000 shares, so that's good. That's the type of volume we want to see. But at the moment, it's just, again, this price action does not look great. And Snap does not always trade like it did on Friday. This is not normal for Snap. Let's look at it. So Friday had a very nice day, beautiful open range break up here. But this is not the way Snap usually trades, right? So again, without the volume, today I'm just not sure if I want to watch it. But we could look at it in our scanners, right? If it hits our scanners, we can pop into it. In YouTube, you're not seeing this now, but we do have, our turbo breakdown. And turbo breakup scanners, whatever pops on here, we can take a look at and zoom into. We also have our ABC high of day bull flag scanner. So we got tons of stuff that we can look at as well, aside from our watch list. But in our watch list, I'm gonna want to put things that have the volume, have a good pre-market action, all the criteria that we look for on a daily basis. And in some cases, they're not going to have a good open. In some cases, they will. But you want to give yourself the best opportunity to focus in on a good 4 to 6 stocks that are going to give you the best chance to get a good play at the open, or a little later in the morning, 15, 20 minutes into the market open. But if that doesn't happen, we'll look over into our scanners and see what else pops up there. All right, so let's take a look at one more time what's on this list here. Let's see what we have. So finalize. So EA I like. EA has a lot of volume, up 4%. Cron is right now it's not doing much, but I do like the daily chart on Cron. I think we're gonna get something out of it today. Again, it's bouncing back from this level for the third time, right? So it's bouncing back from this 1940. And again, it has been really strong. So I don't know if this could be some profit taken here. Now it's going to shoot back up. This is an all-time high, by the way, up here, the 25. So again, all-time high takes a pullback here. And today, let's see what it does. So again, volume is good. Almost over 400,000 shares traded so far. I do like the pre-market action is not great, but I do like the daily chart. Let's see what it can do here. So High of pre-market right now, let's mark it, it's 2050. So let's see what it can do here if it decides to go above that and it decides to go up. So Cron I like, I'm gonna watch that. CLF, I like the daily chart, but again, the pre-market action right now is not looking great, so I'm gonna get rid of it. Doesn't have a good pre-market action. We'll look for that one in our scanner, see if it can create something good. All right, next thing we have Nvidia. Nvidia is down on a downgrade. Pre-market action looks okay. We do have some good clean levels though. These are very clean levels. I mean, very solid. So I do like that. Previous day close right here. Let's see. The pre-market action is not looking good at the moment. Low of pre-market, where we at? Low of pre-market is 148. Sorry, 145.52. So let's mark that right here. That's the low of pre-market. Can it hold that or will it drop that? You know, that's going to be the key getting into the open. So at the moment, not the best pre-market action. I'm going to tune into this again before we hit the open and see if I'm going to keep this or not. So let's see how it continues. AMD slowly grinding towards the previous day close. Wants to go red to green, looks like here. Volume is there. Daily chart is a little bit all over the place, right? Again, had this pop here, started coming down, and then kind of holding this 2230. It's at a point where it's pretty flat right now. But pre-market action does not look great. SQ doesn't look good. I'm going to get rid of SQ. Not a good pre-market action, and the volume is not there. So we'll get rid of it. All right, AVCO still not doing much. Let's see what's going to happen. Again, so I expected by now they will have more volume coming in, but again, volume came in here. Pretty nice, right? You have the ramp, but it didn't keep it, right? Or at least keep it steady here. So now it's selling off. We don't have shares for short on this, so it doesn't look like it's strong, and it's not looking strong enough right now. Maybe it can get stronger later, but right now it's not looking strong. AGRX, I don't like AGRX. I don't like playing stocks that are close to $1 or under, so I'm gonna remove this one from my list. AMD we have up there already, so we'll get rid of it here. MU is not doing much, no volume. We'll get rid of it. And UNG, we'll wait for Brian to give us his feedback on UNG for today. Tobias, you're absolutely correct. CLF, again, that pre-market action was horrible. That's why we removed it. We left it on there just to see if it was going to get better, because it is early. It is 9 a.m. Eastern time. But again, that pre-market action was crap. All right, we have some more popping up into our gapper scanners. Let's look at JDs coming up in our gapper scanners. Not a great pre-market action here, as you can see. Volume just starting to come in. What else we have? Valley. What's Valley up to? It was in our gappers list a lot. This is a foreign stock. This is why the daily chart doesn't look great. Let's get remove some of these levels. But this is the stock that has some negative news here. You can see it really affected them. They bounced back up. And today they got the volume, 455,000 shares traded. But where is the volume? This is not a good pre-market action. You have most of the volume here, and it's not creating a good pre-market action for this stock. So I'm not going to watch that. All right, NVEV. Another one, again, volume, just look at all this volume here, but no, not a good pre-market action either. So we're not going to watch that also. All right, guys, so right now, not much that looks great. Even the ones that we have here, are, you know, could be somewhat questionable, except EA. EA is looking really strong. Leaving that 101.32 now. Next level I have is that 104. Yep, 104.40 is the next level. It's quite a bit away here. Let's see if we can find something in between, but I think that was the best level that we had, because we are closing a gap. Well, actually, we did close the gap. Yeah, that's the best level we have, that 104. As you can see here, it's, you know, supported by this day, these 2 days, this one here, and this one here. So 104.40 is the next level we have. It's looking pretty strong right now. Cron is holding somewhat the VWAP on the 5-minute chart. Needs to get more volume. Had great volume earlier today, but now it's kind of stalling a little bit. Let's see if it can head back up to that 2050. Nvidia's leveling out here at 145.69, not doing much. And AMD is not looking too good neither. Has the volume, but does not have a good pre-market action. So not the best list this morning, guys, but that's okay. That's what happens in the market. You have your days where you have a great list like we did on Thursday. Friday turned out to be a great list. And some days you're not going to get these nice pre-market action, and that's okay. These are the days you don't want to force anything. You want to be very picky on what you get into. You know, our job is to find good, solid opportunities. And if we don't get those today, that's okay. We'll come back tomorrow and see what else we have. Also, sometimes you'll be surprised. Some of these ones that have a bad pre-market action, later on, an hour, 30 minutes into the market, they could turn to have a good pre-market action. Or we can get something in our scanners. You know, we'll look at our scanners today and see if something pops up that we did not have in our list. AKS right now, AKS doesn't have a good pre-market action. Volume is starting to come in. 131,000 shares traded. Actually, that probably happened already because I don't see the volume coming in here. Oh, there it is. Right, so starting to get a little action now. But again, at the moment, it needs more volume. The pre-market action is not great just right now. NUVA is ugly, but it has potential. Okay, let's see. Correct, and that's what you're gonna see, Daniel Thomas. Yeah, some stuff are gonna have an ugly pre-market action. It could have potential later on. So this is where you want to be cautious. Wait, you know, don't rush anything. This is up 14%. Doesn't have the volume right now, but again, this usually stocks that gap up like this can tend to have a good day throughout the day. So patience will be the key. Yep, range is huge. I agree with that on this NUVA. All right, guys. Before we hop off on YouTube, any other questions? Any stocks you guys have on your end? APHA. APHA is yeah, it doesn't have the volume right now. But again, the POS stocks took like a little dip the last several days, right? This one I think is, I'm not sure if this one hitting all-time high. I don't think it is, but Kron is like hitting all-time high. Same chart like this one popping up the last several days. You know, they lost a lot of it, so I think they're just trying to level out here. So this would be dependent on what the other POS stocks do. Kron, CGC as well. What is CGC doing today? So again, not a great pre-market action, barely any volume. CGC didn't bounce back down as much because it didn't have the push up as it did like Kron and APHA did. They're like just parabolic all the way up, and then I'm pulling back now. CGC looks like it started their pullback a while ago. So we'll see. But Kron, out of all of them, Kron I think looks the best one. Has the really nice daily chart, all-time high sitting around 25. Clean level over here that is holding that previous day close. And now if it gets the volume at the open in the right direction, it can really run. So it's looking strong. It looks like it wants to get back up to 2050, wants to get back up towards this 21, 22 level. So we'll see what Kron does. So Kron is my favorite one out of all of them this morning. Yeah, Tobias, be picky. That's a great point. Be picky at the open. Again, there's not much that looks great here, and as we know, that's okay. Not every day we're going to have a list that's gonna, you know, it's gonna look amazing like we did. Like for example, Thursday, you could have been watching a number of stocks. Your watches could have been so much different than mine or anybody else's, and you had great opportunities on what you were watching because just a lot of it was moving without the market with a lot of great catalysts and things like that. MARS, no volume at the moment, not a great pre-market action. So I'm not going to be looking at this one. So this is what I have, guys. We're coming up on 9:10 Eastern time. So my watch is today: EA, Kron, NVIDIA. I like AMD at the moment because the volume is going red to green. So you know, let's see if it can hold that. So AMD's trying to make a move here. Daily chart looks a little okay, not great. AKS, no, AKS is not on my watch list. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I have AVCO here for potential to see what it wants to do, right? It's kind of holding this 580 level here, doesn't know what to do. 256,000 shares traded so far. If it can get the volume and take off, it has the potential to run. It has ran in the past when we had volume, so I'm gonna watch this to see where it takes off. All right, guys, thank you for joining us on YouTube. This is our watch list at the moment. Make sure to tune back in later on for the recaps in our channel to see how we traded these stocks. As you know, Andrew is not trading. He is traveling. He'll be back in a week or so. So me and Brian will be trading live, and we'll keep you guys up to date on how we make out with these stocks. Thank you.